Hello and welcome back, Transformer TCG enthusiasts who are trying to continue the game. I haven't stopped. Now, things have slowed down a little bit. This hopefully will end this year. So many things left on the table. Finishing up Marina War characters. I found some other characters using toy art that I had forgotten about. I have a new faction coming. It's not mine, it is Hasbro's. I will say that, but to try to add to the game, I need to reveal the correct yellow buffer pip, which I like better. Only problem is I'm having a dickens of a time trying to make a hybrid of this pip. I may just have to make it as easy as they did. I was trying to be kind of cool about it. But we've already gone through many of the ranking cards, and had I made this pip before going through all those cards, it might have been a whole different story. But I am going to throw the yellow pip in with the space units. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we finished with the Air Force. We finished with the Ground Force. That leaves Marine units and space units. So I haven't finished those two. I think we finished going through the other half. So I'm having to come up with some interesting stuff. It may not be great stuff. We'll see. Because they're stackable upgrades that can only stack on certain upgrades all in one slot. If this poses questions, please pose them. I will try to answer them. When in doubt, go to Transformers.cards. I'm not a part of that group. I have not given them my cards. If they wanted, I feel like we're all kind of in the same idea pool, which is I found mentally hilarious. So with zone cards, base cards. Now they didn't do the zone cards on Transformers.cards. I think that was a whole different group. But they have accepted Junkions as a faction. I'm kind of against that. I mean, I'm not against them doing it. I felt like they should have been more like Autobots, because when they found them, they were Autobots. And in Season 3, they were Autobots of the G1 show. That's just a me thing, okay? That's just an opinion, nothing here or there. So there's that. And I need to finish what Junkions I've made. They're not going to work like theirs have. I've looked at theirs. They seem okay. They seem a little complicated. I could be wrong. And some of their, I've tried utilizing some of their abilities. Oppress, what is it? Drift, and Sturdy, and something else. There's a couple. Of course, these are a lot of different creators that have come together, and all their stuff is out there at that one spot. And they do answer a lot of good questions. So if they're pertinent to any of my cards, then answer them with their answers, more than likely. Pose them here. I will try to answer in the best way I can, because I'm sure with all the myriad ways that these cards have fallen and been created, by different hands, different teams, and different creative minds, there might be some clashing. Some cards may not do great with others. Some might overtake others. Now, that's one thing I have posed with some of my stuff, is that I haven't made anything too crazy or too strong. The Arc Wave 1, did they ever finish Wave 1.5 or 2? Maybe it was their Facebook page I got kicked off of by accident. It was really strange, but no, I'm not worried about it. But no, I'm still there. It's really weird. Where was I going? It seemed like they were trying to rectify some of their cards because they were pretty strong. A lot of mine are not that strong. They're interesting. They're interesting triggers. They're hard to set up in some ways. The base cards are not exactly flow easily. I will admit that. It does give you more ways to set some neat things up to prevent certain things. You got simple cards. The base cards do help bring in my version of Energon, where you can only have, still follow the rules of the game of only 3 of this of one type card in a deck. But Energon doesn't begin in your deck. It begins in its own little pile. 0 is a pile. I had to do that with my stop motion. That was hilarious. Since something happened at work today that made me think of the same thing, because I tripped over my own 2 feet, and I tripped over nothing, and I'm like, I found the pile of nothing. Oh my gosh, it was funny, but nobody would have caught it if I'd said it out loud. But anyway, but just some neat stuff that I'm still not done. We got to go through some characters that I found tonight that are just blank. I've finished touching up some artwork, trying to. Some of it I didn't. It's like, here it is, plop. Here it is, plop on a background. Whether it was Leo Convoy or Nemesis Leo Prime or whoever I made, using artwork from the toy boxes from the store. And one of them is a Junkion. What was that? Maybe I had a message pop up and it disappeared. Where was I going with this? Oh, some other characters. Marina Wars characters we got to finish. Haven't really touched on this stuff in a while because I've got a new position. I'm working every day at my desk downtown, at my desk at the company, and I'm just like, so I've slowly in these, and I'm the only guy just about in the department, and they all like nearly working through their lunches, and they're all sitting there asking me questions. I'm like, okay, I got to go somewhere else. And so I'll take my laptop and I'll go, and I've been working on some of this stuff since I haven't really delved in it in a good bit, a couple of months, that it feels like, yay, something familiar, yay, something different, yay, it's the TCG again, and I'm having fun doing it, and we have a lot of loose ends to touch up and finish. So, in doing so, I've been going through, like I said, tonight I found some old characters that I'd forgotten about, that I had started and didn't finish. No abilities. Right now, they're very unfinished. I need to finish those. We need to, I've been going through, excuse me, my brain is just everywhere. I apologize. I've been finding some older cards, and I'm like, this needs an update. This needs some rewording. Now that I understand the wording a lot better of these cards and some of these really, really old cards that I've created. Some of the wording really needs to be brushed up, retyped, or slightly modified, and still have the original intention of what I was wanting. I found my secret action. And I was debating tonight. I started recording and I stopped. I might have more than 5, but I only seem to have 2 cards pertinent to secret research, which acts like text research, but in a backwards setting, where if you're defending and it triggers powerful upgrades on the defensive. And I'm thinking this might be better if I made it a hybrid secret action. But now I'm thinking against that, because if I do that, then it might as well be tech research. And what some of these upgrades were triggered when you play tech research. But then when you play tech research to bring in certain upgrades. But a lot of people didn't like that setup, using a card to bring in another card, and using your whole turn for that. While at the same time, I'm thinking, well, maybe this will give us another reason to use tech research. But in hindsight, I'm thinking maybe I should use secret research as a hybrid secret action and have it either trigger these upgrades on the attack or on the defense as a secret action. So you could play it either way as my hybrid secret actions work. This makes a lot more sense. So instead of and maybe if I have some blank cards or have some images that I haven't tried using or utilizing before, and the old noggin is all about dried up. I mean, there wasn't that much there. I mean, all the lights were not on to begin with. But I can't believe I've gotten this far, and I apologize for being very unorganized. No cool booster sets or booster covers or anything for the undisclosed chapter characters or the marina characters, and I was really wanting to do something like that, and I just haven't had the time to do it. Haven't had a lot of time to draw and color. I've done a little bit. I got to bring out Destiny, finish her up, and who is basically my Outback, I did G1 Outback colors, and I tried looking at the head and made Outback out of a modern Subaru Outback, and then I basically flipped him, kind of made him more of a white off-white cream, which is what kind of a car we have. Bit of a story there, but don't worry about it. And so I made another character and called her Destiny, because I call the car Destiny. And I'm an old Lunar fan, and I've been playing a lot of the Lunar Remastered, and I'm finally up to the point in Lunar Remastered where you really start looking for the dragon armors, and the helmet and the sword and everything. I'm up to that point where Galleon has finally come out and said who he is, and just classic. And the remastered game is actually pretty good. The voice acting is not the original, but it's really good. It matches the characters. They did a great job on this game. Wish I'd gotten a physical copy now. Oh well. I can't lose it or break it that way, so I guess that's okay. So I've been playing a lot of Destiny 2, and just been playing the free side of things for the most part, and having fun with that. my wife let me get Lunar Remastered. I've been playing that. Been trying to catch up on some Final Fantasy VI. So, really just been big into games, the old Xbox, and just having fun with it. I really have. It is definitely a Father's Day gift for my son. The gift that just keeps on giving, Clark. So, and when I get down one-on-one like this, I'm really just a good old guy. Never meaning no harm, and from Alabama, and everyone's a friend, you know. I didn't even come from a Christian household. We did not go to church all the time. My brother and dad, went kicking and screaming, and I didn't care. I didn't mind. But there's stories out there. They're out here on the channel if you want to check any of that out. But we were not a church family, and as a result, I had to find my own path. And if you haven't, I suggest you find your own path to some sort of spiritual well-being. Okay? And the same people, I don't want to get too political right now, but the same people, think about this, the same people that nearly took prayer out of schools are now teaching about mental health issues, because they also pretty much closed the schools for 2 years, plus in some areas of the country. And they won't allow them to pray in school. There's some mental health stress relief there. Think about that. Mental well-being. But anyway, we got some stuff to finish up. I'm not done yet. And you're like, dude, Grillenheimer, we get it. This is like the 8th video of this you've done. And I'm doing this because I have the chance to do it right now. And I'm serious. I'm gonna keep going. I just have the hardest time trying to just sit down and do a video, because there's always someone in the house. And with that, I'm gonna have to let my son in because he's coming in very late from work. We'll see you next time. New faction, new pip to be finally revealed, because the first one I showed is not fun. It's not it. It's not done. So, we'll see you next time. And as always, throw scraplets at that like button. Subscribe if you haven't yet already. And we'll see you next time. Don't have a good day. Have a blessed day. Thanks for watching.